you see the best and the worst come out in people during a crisis. And he says we need to stop playing politics and get back to principles. And that has stuck with me, right? Because we're big on leadership principles, and a lot of times people are playing politics. And what you just demonstrated is something that's leadership principles 101 is leading from the front, right? You went out there, you saw a problem,
Mm-hmm.
and you went to go solve it. And I always say, this is how you know the difference between a leader and a manager. Leaders solve problems, the manager just solves for the symptom. They don't go after the root cause. So that's a problem
Mm,
manager, not a problem leader. So have
I
you been
like
able
that.
to balance it out, like because I understand you might need some things to be more on the maintenance side or sustainment side, just to manage it for a little bit before you go solving it, like how, like, because I mean I feel like when principle, like when I feel like there's a character building there, because now it's, there's some things you hear that are not even true, but if you have those, your character, your humility, your ability to do the right, your integrity, I think that's the word I'm looking for here, Mayor, is how much of those things were
Mm-hmm.
challenged in these things, right? Because what you just described, that seems to me like a typical day at the office. If you're working at the office when
It,
people are playing
it
office
it it really
politics.
is. Yeah, your character as a politician gets charged every day. I mean, I've been called everything under the sun. I'm always going to jail. I've even been called a drug dealer. Here in my own town. Um, they tried to assassinate your character. I had to be taught how not every battle is worth fighting. So even though it may be hurtful, because you know in your heart that you're doing the right thing, um, in this day and age, people, right has become wrong and wrong has become right in their minds. I'm the implementer of change here in my town. The mindset, the culture had become so bad that people got used to living in these conditions. And I was just like, oh man, this isn't my town. This is horrible. You know, I can't even believe that they let my town fall like this. And there's many factors that go along with it, but it's like, what time do we stop talking about it and do something about it? We can talk all day, but those same people who are out there doing the talking, you realize at some point in time that they're not walking, they're not doing anything. They're armchair quarterbacks. They always have been and probably always will be. You will never get them on your team. But I have, out of that, there's a little small faction of 30, but I got another 4,000 and something odd people that's on my side, that loves the change, that love. And like yesterday, I've always done this, even as the chief of police. We had a bad water leak. I went out and put it on our Facebook page live. These guys out here, it's 20 degrees. They're in this hole. Have you seen them? Give them a pat on the back. They're doing a great job. And they have been, and they love it. My guys love it. The people in the town thank you for keeping us informed. I have we are so transparent. It's ridiculous. Did we make a mistake? Yes, but I own up to it, because at the end of the day, the buck stops here. They made a mistake. Okay, we're gonna fix it. Let's move on. I don't sit there and harp on that. But you have some people that want to, and it's all about the dirty game of politics. And I'm at the lowest level of government. This is the municipal level. You got the municipal, you got the state, and you got the federal. Um, I've had people at the state level say, "Mayor, no way, I would want your job. I would want to be in your shoes. Right now, you have to bring this town back from the brink of death, and you know what? We've done it. And we're moving on, and we're getting healthier and healthier by the day. So I let my work speak for itself. But everything, those naysayers and those who try to sabotage everything that they've done have failed. But I have to have, and I don't care how old you are, I don't care how smart you are, what kind of degrees you have to have mentors. I have two mentors right now that keep me grounded, and they will not allow me to. My first instinct is to fight. And I don't care if it's with my mouth, with my fist, with a pen. That's my first instinct. But they have kept me grounded over these years. last 2 years as the mayor, and I have learned so much. And they're older than I am, and things have just worked out just fine. So I don't go out and publicly fight anymore. When the negativity comes, you know what? I go and make sure I do something positive, and I do something for somebody else, and I let people know about it. And hey, if I have a grant that's coming up, I advertise it. And we just keep people. That's it, man. I mean, you have to have mentors or somebody around you in your circle that you trust, that you can depend on, that's going to tell you the right thing, but that also that's going to give you some constructive criticism, and you be able to take it. I can always take constructive criticism. It's the destructive criticism I don't handle well. So
Yeah, I mean, you said a lot right there, but I think what I'm hearing is you rebuilt a foundation of a small town, applying your military experience, applying your law enforcement background, and then your ability to be a part of a political staff, if you will, as being the chief of police. But now you saw something and you saw a problem and you went there and fixed it here. So, what is your vision? I don't know how long your term is, but what is your vision for the next couple of years? Like, what do you want to see? Because one thing that veterans and I always talk about, and you know this, is we always say like, man, that's a bad leader right there. That is bad leadership. Like that Marine needed your help,
mm,
right? Like you didn't go and help that Marine out. And I think we're in a leadership crisis right now in America where, as you know, there's a lot of politics that people are playing instead of going back to principle based leadership. Let's do what's right for the country. Like you just talked about right now, building a leadership development program for the future generations, or your staff or your team, building them up as leaders, because you can only do so much as the CEO or the CEO or the mayor, governor, uh, president. You have to be able to delegate. The art of delegation, and to do that is to build up those leaders. So tell me about maybe some of
mhm.
your goals, or for the next couple of years. What does success look like for you at the end of the day when Mayor Harris hangs up the suit and is winning hearts and minds and kissing babies? What does that look like for you at the end of the day?